Good evening everyone and welcome to TTFL. This is Season 6, Round 10 here at the Circuit of the Americas, the penultimate round of the championship in Austin, Texas, about to take place. And what a race we have in prospect here. The top three can still win the championship. Recon, Sinclair and Lyronix going to do battle here out on track. And as you can tell, Malcolm not here tonight, so I am stepping into the breach. James Head, of course, here. Going to take you through the action out on track. I'll just come on to the driver's standings in just a moment, but we do have to reflect on a bit of bad news that has recently been developing. I'm sure you guys tuning into the stream have probably seen it. The terrorist attack in London. Two members of the public have seemed to have lost their lives, and our thoughts and prayers are with everyone that was caught up in such a dreadful and barbaric incident that happened in or near to London Bridge. We have to focus, however, though, on the positives. The brave members of the public who put their lives on the line to protect and ensure that there wasn't any more fatalities within the incident, and of course the emergency services, the ambulance service, the fire brigade, and of course the armed officers, the police, really doing their job and protecting our freedoms, protecting our liberties, and ensuring that we can live the lives that we can today. So just to focus on that, and I'm sure everyone will agree that our thoughts and prayers wholeheartedly are with those family members and friends who have lost their members of the public, the two people that have died, their friends and family. I'm getting a bit emotional saying that, but we'll focus on the action here, of course, tonight. TTFL, this is Season 6, Round 10, as I've said, and a three-way championship battle to pretty much fight us off here tonight. Recon on 150 points, leading the way from Sinclair in second on 146 points, Lyronix in third on 128, with Siege in fourth on 98 points. Jack and Maximus tied for fifth on 46 points, Kiki in 7th on 41, with Conti in 8th on 39, LR Pog is in 9th on 35, and Lambo is in 10th on 28. Looking down the rest of the grid, Maze on 27, Vaporon on 27, Speedy Suarez on 22, Jeffrey on 16, Lighty on 15, Alan K on 13, Charlie on 4, S. Graham on 2, and Gypsy George on the nil point at this moment in time. And the constructor standings as follows: Toro Rosso on 191 leading the way, Alfa Romeo in second on 169, Haas in third on 164, still quite close within the constructors. It can be won again here tonight by Toro Rosso to put in a good performance. Renault in fourth on 125, with Mercedes in fifth on 89, Racing Point in sixth on 55, Ferrari in seventh on 41, McLaren in eighth on 39, Williams on 26 in 9th, and Red Bull in 10th on 17 points respectively. And I've already said, it is Circuit of the Americas, 20 corners for the drivers to really get a grip of here tonight. And as always within the TTG leagues, it is short qualifying of 18 minutes in length and a 50% race. 28 laps in length, I do believe. I will tune into the comment section very shortly indeed. Two DRS zones on the track, one down the start finish straight and then one down the long kilometre long back straight between 11 and 12. So those are the two DRS zones pretty much where you will probably be seeing a majority of the overtakes here tonight in TTFL. And I cannot wait for the action to start out on track. Good evening to Maze, who's the only one in the comment section at the minute. Of course, if you do want to get in touch and show your support for the drivers out on track, please do put in your comments and I will of course read them out over the stream throughout tonight, certainly within qualifying and probably when there's a lack of action within the race. And I'm promising that this is going to be one hell of a race. We have got Sinclair, we have got Recon here, and there is no Lyronix, so it suggests to me that we're going to have a two-way battle between Sinclair and Recon. Goodness me, we are prepared. This is going to be fireworks out on track, guys. Honestly, USA has been a title deciding track before, and I'm not going to make any predictions at this stage. Lyronix is missing, so won't be attending here tonight, but we have got the treat of having the top two in the standings doing battle out on track, with the added mix of allowing somebody like Vaporon maybe to take qualifying in pole position. Who knows? We'll find out in around 20 minutes time who is on pole position, but we are getting going now for TTFL Season 6 Round 10 at Circuit of the Americas. I cannot wait for this. This is going to be fantastic. Looking again at the comments section just to tune in on some of the comments that have came through. I know there has been another comment that has came through on the stream, and the Penguins are again out in force by Maze. Fantastic to see the Penguins out in force, and I'm sure it is going to be great racing out on track here tonight. And yes, I am live as the action unfolds out on track here, and that has been retweeted onto my stream. Just engaging a little bit of reaction actually within some of the comments that have came through within the Twitter chat. Vaporon saying he changed 4 times in his last practice session. If that I don't think that bodes well, to be honest. If you've been changing setups constantly and trying to get your perfection, likelihood is it probably won't be perfection coming into this race. 14 drivers about to battle out on track. The 18-minute worth of qualifying has begun here tonight, and we will have the first on action, the first drivers out on track very shortly indeed. So I just take a little bit of break for a drink there. Lambo here as well, going to be a very interesting perspective to see how he gets on in the Ferrari. Of course, Alan Kay there in the Ferrari as well, so the 2 to 4s he's represented, 2 Mercedes, and only 1 Red Bull with S. Graham, I do believe, in that Red Bull. There is a Mercedes coming out the track. That is TTG Vaporon, better known to you guys in the community, of course, as Darkbolt. Vaporon, first time I think I'm actually commentating on him, so this is going to be a bit new for him and a bit new for me as well, but I know who he is. That's more important than anything else, really. Through turn 1 he goes. This is a very tricky track, especially through the final sector. There are quite a few fast-flowing corners. Of course, this race was first opened in 2012. Conti has retired from the session. I do believe he might have had a qualifying ban, if my mind serves me right. I think Conti has retired from the session as a result of a qualifying ban. 2012 was the inaugural USA Grand Prix in its current form. Herman Tilke designed track, and the track opened actually on October 21st, 2012. Lewis Hamilton won the first race before his switch to Mercedes in 2013 in that McLaren in 2012, with over 100,000 spectators tuning in and sitting on the track. Very similar curves and corners here. Maggots and Beckett through the S section, which we've already seen through 3, 4, 5 and 6. The S curves, all the S curves is Suzuki, you could mimic to that. And then turns 12 to 15, which is the section we're through now, it is very similar to the Hockenheim Stadium section, which is of course Sachs curve and into Sug curve and all of those corners there in Hockenheim. But in the meantime, we have got action out on track, and Vaporon about to start off a lap. Here, the sun shining very brightly within the driver's eyes. I need to sort of glint at my screen as well there. Vaporon now across the line to start off his lap. Yellow flags in sector 3. I wouldn't worry about that at all. It's just people preparing for their laps out on track. The driver's just preparing. Into turn 1, Vaporon goes though, up the hill, down the hill they come. Once again, and now through turn 2. Into turn 3, 4, 5 and 6, similar to the S's through Suzuka or Maggots and Beckett, whichever is your choice. Through the first sector he comes, very much attacking through the first sector, and a 24.7 through the first sector. Interesting to note also, he has got an ERS mode of 3, an energy recovery system mode of 3, now ups it to 4 and 5 as he comes towards this big long straight, coming out into turn 11 now and halfway through the middle sector. Just nicks the ball out on the inside, but he is still going on this lap, now can open up the DRS to reach in excess of 200 mile an hour down the straight, and you can really sense how this sun is actually going to be affecting the drivers out on track here tonight. It might just be a little bit of a put-off for some of these drivers. F1 taking a very wide line there, 101.5 through the middle sector, now into this Mimic Stadium section, similar to Hockenheim, through 12, 13, 14 and 15, and then through the triple right, the my favourite corners out on track with 16, 17 and 18, of course famously where Verstappen overtook Raikkonen illegally on the inside of turn 17, with F1 through that section very nicely indeed. Now through turns 19 and 20, and loses the back end actually, just applied a bit too much power. I think he might have got caught on the sausage curb there, and Vaporon has spun around out of turn 19, and that is a place where you don't really want to be going off, and I have a feeling he'll be back into the pit, and he is going to come out back into the pit. Recon has gone quicker still in the meantime with a 33.5. Vaporon I think would have been a lot quicker than that lap time. A scrim just out the final corner coming across the line now. Invalidated 142.2, so not a respective lap from him. Sinclair has just started a lap out on track. We'll go on board with Lambo coming through the triple right, and now into turn 19 once again. Runs very wide there, and now into turn 20. Of course, track limits may be noted down by the stewards. 31.7 from Lambo. Very nice lap there from the Brit driver in P1, currently out on track. And we're nearly 5 minutes through the session, and only 2 drivers have currently set laps out on track. Kiki now coming through the final couple of corners. Now through the final corner, on a set of hard compound of tyres, going to be slower than Recon here, but he's across the line and sets a bank lap of a 35 flat, and backs off as soon as that has finished. Got Sinclair on a lap, Speedy Suarez on a lap as well. We've got Alan Kay on a lap. We'll go on board with the Spaniard then, Speedy Suarez, who is on a set of hard compound of tyres again. Bit of difference in the strategy here early on in qualifying. Not really a shock to me, and I'm sure it's not really a shock to you, and I think he's actually invalidated this lap as he comes around the final corner, and he is going to start off on a new lap. So we'll go on board then with Sinclair, one of the major title contenders. Recon currently in second in qualifying, with only 3 drivers who have set a respective lap so far out on track. And reminder, Recon leads by 4 points coming into tonight, with Sinclair in second on 146 points, 150 points for Recon respectively. Sinclair is not on a lap here either. He's going to come into the pits. Why is it with me going onto laps and them invalidating? S. Graham has gone third though with a 33.8. Alan Kay is in 11th currently, hasn't set a lap, but he is coming through the triple right at 16, 17 and 18. We've got Jeffrey out on a lap, I do believe, as well, which will come on board with him just in a moment. 6 minutes gone in qualifying. Lambo has currently set the fastest lap. Alan Kay at the final corner, setting a very nice respectful lap. On a set of mediums, he can go quicker, I think, on a set of mediums than that. To 35.4 from the Irishman, a little way off the pace, but I'm sure he can improve on that. Jeffrey just behind him, coming around the final corner, and just nicks Alan Kay by about nearly 1/10.5 of a second there. Jeffrey has gone 5th at this stage. Quite a few drivers either on out laps or just on their respective laps, trying to set a bit of a banker here. And again, we're back on board with the Spaniard, who is currently out on a lap, Speedy Suarez. I have a feeling, though, he will be coming back into the pit. This is not a respective lap, I don't think, for Speedy Suarez, formerly of Nexus, of course. He's now through the final couple of corners into the final corner. Again, opens up the taps with the ERS. He's on ERS mode 4. He comes across the line. Yeah, that's an invalidated 36.9 there for the Spaniard. We'll go on board then with somebody else. Let's go on board with Siege, actually, who has just started off on a lap on a set of hard compound of tyres here through turn 1. Very different to the graphic that is showing on your left-hand side of the screen. Siege is definitely on the white wall tyre. Softs, mediums and hards available for the drivers out on track tonight. Cloud cover just increasing a little bit. That suggests to me that the temperatures will have the tyres will have to work at a better temperature to try and get a lot of traction through the corners, and this is what Siege is trying to do. Oh, just clips the curb a little bit too much there, coming through turn 8 and 9, now through 10. Just clipped the curb a little bit too much. I think it might have been invalidated anyways, and Siege is just off on a lap. We'll have a look on board then. There's not really many of note that is actually on a lap at the minute. Jeffrey is just preparing for another lap, it seems. Kiki, not sure if he's on a lap. He's not improving anyways. Recon is 9/10 down on his lap. We'll go on board then with Speedy Suarez once again, who is on a lap this time, now through turn 15. tax that just a little bit too much. You don't want to really take full amount of the curve there, because it can lose you just that 1/10 or 2/10 of a second, and it will be able to cost drivers a bit of time coming through the final sector. Speedy Suarez now through turn 19 into turn 20. Vaporon is on a lap. We'll go on board with him in just a moment. Speedy Suarez across the line. Very nice, respectful lap this. 34 flat, and he goes 4th position. Only half the field have set a lap as we approach halfway in qualifying. It's Lambo out on top with a 31.7. Recon in second, and S. Graham currently filling out your top 3 position. We are on board though with Vaporon, who just cuts the inside of turn 12 a little bit too much. I have a feeling this might be a bit of an invalidated lap from the Brit. Of course, he is in the Mercedes, and looking at how he's been getting on in his first few races here in TTFL, 2nd and 6th for his first 2 races. Very good results indeed. 27 points to his name, and Vaporon will be looking to increase that points tally here tonight in America. Runs very wide and is coming around the final corner now. Don't think this is a lap. Yeah, it's not a lap. I was going to say, if he was that quick, then goodness me. 30.8 that was. Invalidated lap there from him. Sinclair then, the Scotsman, through the first sector, through the S section, through 3, 4, 5, 6, into 7, then coming out of turn 7 and then into turn 8 here at the top of the hill, before diving back down the hill slightly towards turn 10. Through there he goes, now through into turn 11 at the bottom of the hill towards the straight, this long kilometre straight, which has of course got that DRS zone. Plenty of overtakes have been won and lost down the straight, and I'm sure we'll see plenty of the overtakes here tonight in TTFL. Sinclair then approaching turn 12, looking very nice so far on this lap. He's looking around Lambo sort of pace, I think, with this lap. 101.6 through the middle sector. Very nice, respectful lap through the middle sector there. And this is looking good from the Scotsman. Of course, a major championship contender. He'll be wanting to start ahead of Recon. There are yellow flags in Sector 1 and Sector 2. I have a feeling someone might have dropped it through the S section. I'll try and pick up on who that might have been. In the meantime, it might be somebody on an outlap, actually. Sinclair now through 19 and 20, looking good through the final couple of corners. And the Scotsman, I think, is just going to nick this on the run to the line. It's a 31.4. He does nick it by more than 3/10 of a second. Sinclair, provisional pole at this moment in time. Siege, by the way, I think has gone 5th as well with a 33.9. He's about a 10th off S. Graham. That was a very nice lap, though, by Sinclair. We'll try and pick up on somebody that is on a lap. Gypsy George just coming out of the pits in the Williams. I think that's his first venture out on track so far here tonight. Sinclair Lambo, of course. There are 2 Georges now in TTG. There is regular George and Gypsy George. I will call him George tonight because there's no regular George, which is fantastic. Makes my life a little bit easier in the commentary box, I've got to admit. Maximus Vaporon is into the pits, but Maximus is on a lap in the Mercedes. Let's see how the Brit is getting on. Flying through the S section he goes. And I set a hard compound of tyres. Flying through there, 25.6 through the first sector. Just lagging a little bit, I do believe. Taking very high gears. Maximus comes through now towards turn 10 and then through into turn 11 towards the start of this long 1 kilometre straight here in Austin, Texas, at the Circuit of the Americas. Remember, 2012 was the inaugural race, Herman Tilke designed track, and Maximus is on a lap currently here, showing how much speed he can actually do down the straight. 204 mile an hour there, I make that as under the braking zone. Now through the final couple of corners into the final sector he comes. 105 roughly, 103 sorry, I think that was, through the middle sector. Maximus now through turn 15, then into 16, 17 and 18. Hopefully you guys are tuning in and enjoying the stream so far. This is of course James Head here, going to be commentating you through the action. No Melk tonight. He will be back though next week for the season finale of TTFL. In the meantime, you're stuck with me. Maximus through the final corners and looking good actually on this lap. Just going to go behind Speedy Suarez. Oh, I thought he was just going to nick behind Speedy Suarez there. Alan Kay has improved. Very nice lap there by the Irishman. 33.9. Of course, there is pace difference here within TTFL. But where isn't there pace difference in any league? Where isn't the pace difference? Sinclair on top with 5 minutes to go. Lambo in second. Kiki has left the session. 8th place currently for Kiki. Hopefully he can rejoin back. Lambo is on a flyer here though. We came on board at the right time through the final corner, trying to beat a 31.4 of Sinclair. Comes across the line and just does it. 31.278 from Lambo. He goes to the top of the timing screens once again. And again, it is going to be quite an interesting play here with Lambo, who creates his own track limits there through turn 1. He has actually run out of fuel, I do believe. Kiki has been disqualified for being parked in a dangerous location. I can't understand why he's been disqualified from the session when he's not even here. That doesn't make sense to me. Speedy Suarez though on the lap, the Spaniard. In the Williams, of course. 2 Williams representative here. George as well. 6 cents up through the middle sector for Speedy Suarez. And now he comes through into the final couple of corners. Just sliding the back end. Nearly Tokyo drifting through there. Just attacks that curb a little bit too much and loses a bit of speed out of there. Jeffrey has just gone 4th with a 33.1. Good lap there by the Dutchman. Gone ahead of S. Graham by around 7/10 of a second. Speedy Suarez then on through the final corners. And he's into the pits. Speedy Suarez into the pits. Nicely done, actually. I thought he was going to crash there. Vaporon is finally on a lap. 24.9 through the first sector on a set of medium compound of tyres. That is a very nice first sector, I've got to admit. On a set of mediums, he should be aiming for around Recon sort of area, I think, with this lap. He's got about a 9/10 buffer there to fit into between Recon and Jeffrey. That's the sort of area I think he might cut into with this lap. As long as it's clean, of course. As he runs down the long back straight. Hopefully you guys, as I say, enjoying. Good to see everyone tuning in. The Penguins again out in force by Maze. Conti Boy coming in and saying, good luck boys, unfortunately I do have a qualifying ban. Thank you for clarifying that. Rua Gaming is supporting Maximus, and Vaporon saying he's really struggling on the traction. We're currently on board with him at the moment. On a set of mediums, that looks like that is Kiki's AI car just going through camera shot there. So he has been disqualified from the session. How that's going to work out is beyond me. Vaporon now through the final couple of corners. There is a Ferrari just going slow. He's into the pit, and that is Lambo coming through into the pit. Vaporon now around the final corner looking good and goes ahead of Recon. And he's only 7/10 of a second off Lambo. Unfortunately, I don't think he can get another lap in on a set of soft compound of tyres. Otherwise, I think he might be provisional pole, if I've got to be honest. Mays has just started off on a lap. George is into the pits. There's not really many on a lap at this moment in time. Everyone will be coming out within the next 30 seconds out on track. We'll go on board then at the meantime with... We'll go on board actually with Mays, who's just through ahead by around 20 seconds through the first sector. 25.1 there from Mays through the first sector. He is on a set of soft compound of tyres, the softest of the 3 compound of tyres here that is available. Medium and hards being the other 2, of course. And now Mays approaches fearsome turn 11. Good to see Kiki has rejoined the session. As Mays now begins the long hunt down the straight. This long kilometre straight, Maximus not improving. 34.7 is his current best. Mays is going to get a bit of a toll here from a slowing down car. I have a feeling that is probably Vaporon going down the middle sector. Mays now on a lap coming through this middle sector. 1 or 2.4 through the middle, not looking too bad. George is retired. He did set a lap in though, 35.6. Mays then is the only one that hasn't set a lap currently, but will very shortly indeed. As I said, there's quite a few now on outlaps. I will go on board with them one at a time, hopefully. Mays now through the final couple of corners, through turn 19 and into 20, this left-hander to end off the lap. And Mays is going to go ahead of Jeffrey, I think, with this lap. A very nice lap, 32.8 from Mays. 1.6 seconds off the pace. He should be very happy with that indeed. Vaporon into the pits, not improving. S. Graham is 8/10 down and has run out of ERS. So we'll go on board then with Siege, who is through the final sector, and then I'll pick out on whoever is on the outlap. Whoever is at the end of the outlap first, I will go on board with next. But Siege, S. Graham has retired from the session. He has given his all out on track. Siege, we'll go on board with Speedy Suarez, who's just came onto a lap as well. But Siege now through turns 19 and 20. Don't think he's improving on this lap. Next time around, I think is going to be his lap here. So we'll go on board then with Suarez, who is just started off on a lap. Lambo has retired from the session, and Recon not setting another lap, which means Sinclair really is the only one that can do it. Speedy Suarez, 7 tenths up in the first sector, flying through the first sector there, the Spaniard. Now through turns 8 and 9 into turn 10. Sinclair, by the way, has made a mistake, I think, in the first sector, and he has pretty much blown his chance of getting pole position here. So Lambo, I think, is going to be out on top unless a miracle happens from somebody. Speedy Suarez, though, on a lap. He has gone from a set of hards to a set of softs straight away. Now through into the middle sector. Again, the sun blaring down on him as he comes through turn 12. And this is a very quick middle sector. 1.4 seconds up on his current personal best. So 101.6 through the middle sector. And now into turns 14 and 15. Then into the triple right, 16, 17 and 18. Next corner's upcoming for Speedy Suarez. And looking at his name, and to put away a pun, he is Speedy out on track. Now through the final 2 corners, just catching a little bit too much curb there on the outside. Now through into turn 20, the final corner. He is going to put it right up there. Where's he going to be put? He goes third, ahead of Vaporon. Very nice stop there by Speedy Suarez. 5 tenths off Lambo. He should be very happy with that indeed. Siege is on a lap just ahead of Alan Kay. Alan Kay is 2 tenths up in that final, in the middle sector. Siege now across the line, a set of mediums goes 7th. Alan Kay goes 9th. So Siege with a 33.1. Alan Kay with a 33.4 and a set of soft compound of tyres. That is the end of qualifying. Lambo takes it out on track in qualifying. Can he repeat qualifying? Let's find out. Lambo takes it then on pole position in the Ferrari. The spoiler in the party, I think, here tonight. Lambo, he is taking pole position. Sinclair in second. Speedy Suarez in third. Nice lap from him. Vaporon in fourth, with Recon in fifth. So the 2 championship contenders starting second and fifth. Mason sixth, with Siege in seventh. Jeffrey in eighth. Alan Kay in 9th, and S. Graham filling out the top 10. Bit of strategy which I'll come on to on the formation lap. Maximus, George, Conti with his qualifying ban, and Kiki getting disqualified. And his AI was even going round out on track. I do not understand how this game works sometimes, honestly. Of course, if you are here to support any particular driver, do put it in the comments section. I will of course, read the comments like I am going to do now. So this is your opportunity to really get home and ensure that the support is there for your respective drivers, and I'm sure everyone will have support out on track here tonight. Cloud cover quite excessive here in America, which means possibly the softs will wear at a bit of a better temperature than, say, for example, the mediums and the hards. A one-stop strategy is possible around here. However, I think 2-stop is a bit quicker in terms of timings. I was trying this out a little bit earlier on, and I've got to say myself that the 2-stop I think works better than the 1-stop. That is only my opinion. Of course, everyone else will have a different opinion out on track. And of course, these are the drivers, and I'm the commentator. That's what you've got to realise. Was a driver at one stage, but let that be in the olden days. Goodness me. Kiki saying he's back in, which is good to see, and he is starting from the back of the field after his disqualification for being parked in a very, very bad place out on track. But the formation lap has now begun. Of course, what I want to find out in the comment section is who are you supporting and who is your top 3 for tonight. Of course, I will read the comment section before we get underway for 28 laps worth of action here in TTFL Season 6, Round 10, penultimate round of the championship. It can be decided here. No Lyronics to try and spoil the party. It is simply going to be between Sinclair and Recon out on track, and the championship permutation is really as follows. If Recon wins and Sinclair doesn't finish in the points or gets a DNF, then Recon is crowned champion here tonight, even with a win. He's got a 4-point buffer currently over Sinclair at this stage. But, and this is the big but, which I'll come on to in a minute because I'm going to talk through these strategies further down the field. Soft compound tyres for Conti. He is going to go possibly 2-stop in this race, possibly softs to mediums and then to softs again, I would imagine it'll be for Conti. George and Kiki are on a set of medium compound of tyres. They're in the middle of the 3 compound of tyres and probably will work best in these colder temperatures out on track, especially with the increased cloud cover. And Maximus on a set of hard compound of tyres. Again, they will work better, but they'll only come into life towards the end of the first half of the race. And I think there was a little bit of contact just ahead of Maximus between Alan Kay and S. Graham there, but the game not punishing them for that. We approach the end of the formation lap. What are your top 3 predictions? I haven't seen any comments come through, so I'm guessing nobody has a top 3 prediction, but I'm going to make mine anyways and say that Lambo is going to spoil the party. I think Lambo is going to win this. If he goes for, lights the flag, and if he gets a good jump on Sinclair in the first lap, I can't see anybody beating him, to be honest, here tonight. Lambo may be just a class above the rest, but I'm not saying that in general terms. I think Lambo is probably just going to be a little bit too classy for them here tonight. I think Recon is going to get second, and for a little bit of a shock, I'm going to go Vaporon for third. Good, strong performance. He has won a race so far this season, but with a shocking camera angle, will, of course, now get the light sequence on for round 10 of the championship. The penultimate round here in TTFL about to begin. Hang on to your hats. 5 red lights about to go out here in America. Quick light sequence and we're out, and Lambo has got a very good start from Sinclair. Speedy Suarez very slow off the start. Vaporon and Recon possibly trying to eye up a move. Mays down the inside of Siege, down the inside there. A little bit of contact. George down it up the inside, I think. Causing a little bit of contact. A few going wide. Alan Kay is round, I think, in the background. He's been caught up in something, but Lambo has got that break, as I alluded to in the formation lap. Lambo has got the break early and has got 5/10 over Sinclair. That was a Red Bull just going across the S section. That was S. Graham just rejoining in front of Alan Kay, rejoined safely, but Lambo leads the way. Sinclair in second, Suarez in third as they approach the straight for the first time. Vaporon in fourth, Recon fifth, Mason sixth, Siege in seventh, Jeffrey in eighth, Conti in ninth, Maximus in 10th, as I just miss a move with Recon and Vaporon. Siege goes very wide there. I'm not sure if he's got damage. Recon has gained 2 positions though in the meantime, as they're pretty much 3 wide down the straight. Look at this, 3 wide down the straight. Vaporon trying to get them both down the inside. Everyone going to give respect to each other. Vaporon 2 for 1 down the inside, and I tell you what, that is one of the best moves I think I've seen on the first lap here in America. Fantastic stuff from Vaporon. It's up to third. Speedy Suarez down to fourth. Recon down to fifth. He's on the inside now as Speedy Suarez as he go into turn 15. Not a tiny little bit of contact, but not much. Speedy Suarez keeps the position into fourth position. May's right on the back as well, and a dramatic first lap. Great action from the front half of the grid. I think George might have had a bit of a moment further down in the field on lap 1, but Lambo with a sliding back end leads the way by 5.5 tenths coming across the line, with Sinclair in second, Vaporon in third, but is under pressure now from the Spaniard as we come up the hill into turn 1. Bit of a rise and fall motion into turn 1, the hairpin. Speedy Suarez not going for the move there on Vaporon, so they stay as they are with Recon in 5th. Mays in 6th position. Sinclair and Recon staying as they are from the start. Let's have a look at the position changes from lap 1. Conti has gained 4 from 13th. Kiki has gained 3. And Maximus and Vaporon have gained 1 as well. We'll go back on board with the battle for the lead, because Sinclair is right on the back of Lambo. 0.3 of a second, and the Scotsman beginning to sense that Lambo may not be untouchable as we first thought. Let's have a look running down the straight. DRS will be enabled, of course, next lap around on lap 3 of the race. Sinclair right on the back of Lambo. Not going to be close enough for the move, I don't think. He is gaining just within the slipstream, but not going to have the move. In the meantime, Maximus further down the field is going side by side with Conti Boy down the inside. Conti holding the outside line, Maximus on the inside line, tries to force his car up the inside. Kiki again has left the session. A little bit of a communication and a bit of a disconnect moment, I should say, there from Kiki. And he's now down 11th, so that AI car, if he doesn't rejoin, that car will not be scoring any points, remember. You do have to be in control of your car to finish the race. Lambo leads at the end of lap 2, coming through turn 20 for the second time. Lambo leads the way by 4.5 tenths across the line. Sinclair in second, Vaporon in third, Suarez in fourth, with Recon in fifth, Amazing sixth. Everyone's spreading themselves out quite nicely. We'll focus our attentions further down the field though. Alan Kay is trying to get on the back of the Scotsman, which is S. Graham, of course, in that Red Bull. It's a Forsey trying to gain some more points here to aid them in the Constructors' battle. Remember, coming into the Constructors' battle here tonight, there was quite a difference between Toro Rosso and Alfa Romeo, 191 to 169. Ferrari on 41 points. They definitely need the points, and Alan Kay right on the back of S. Graham. We'll focus again our attentions though on the battle for the lead, because it looks like Vaporon is trying to carry along Suarez here, I think, and Recon beginning to get into this as well. Maybe the top two just taking it a little bit easier with the compound of tyres. Of course, they are on the softs, Vaporon on the mediums, and what I alluded to earlier on, the cloud cover could really affect how these tyres actually work out on track. Sinclair right on the back, not close enough for the move though. But definitely Vaporon beginning to drag along Speedy Suarez. Conti is down the inside of Jeffrey, gets the move done down into turn 12. Fantastic move that actually by Conti. Gets the move done. We came on board with that a little bit late, but he gets the move done. He's up to 8th place. Jeffrey down to 9th. S. Graham and Alan Kay have a little bit of ham and tongue battle there, and S. Graham holds a position into 11th. Alan Kay in 12th. Kiki will be rejoining. George still going round as well. Nobody has made a pit stop yet, and Lambo under sustained pressure now from the Scotsman in behind, but a 5-way battle for the lead I think is about to develop, with Lambo now leading the way. Sinclair taking the outside line, could have a go into turn 1, not quite. Speedy Suarez are on the back of Vaporon as well, but definitely the bottom half of this top 5, Vaporon, Speedy Suarez, Recon, beginning to get into things, and this is going to just prove a little bit more interesting here in TTFL, so stay tuned for the action as it unfolds out on track as we come through the second sector once again on lap 4 out of 28. It is Lambo who leads with Sinclair in second, but again the Scotsman beginning to sustain the pressure on the Brit. I'll tell you what, Lambo has got his work cut out if he thinks he can get away with this a little bit easy, because Sinclair right on the back, Vaporon, Suarez and Recon, as I say, coming into it. Alan Kay has gained a position on S. Graham. That was down into turn 11. Sinclair now taking the inside line, Lambo on the outside line. Sinclair now on the inside line, gets the move done down into turn 12. Fantastic move, good side-by-side action there. Lambo giving him the respect, and Sinclair leads the way now on lap 4 out of 28 with Lambo in second. I just have a feeling that those softs may be just a little bit more worn than Sinclair's at this moment, but looking behind, because Vaporon and Suarez are certainly on the back. Recon's just dropped off a little bit, but maybe he's saving up his ERS. 46% of ERS compared to 48%, so not really much in it between 5th and 4th at the moment. We are now on to lap 5, and Sinclair beginning to just extend that lead a little bit further. Lambo in second, Vaporon in third, Speedy Suarez in 4th, Recon in 5th, Mays in 6th, Siege in 7th, Conti Boy in 8th, Jeffrey in 9th, Maximus in 10th, with Alan Kay and S. Graham. We'll focus on this for in the meantime. S. Graham now on the back of Alan Kay. Is he going to try the move down into the hairpin at turn 1? Let's find out. S. Graham trying to go all the way around the outside actually on Alan Kay. We'll go for the switchback. Alan Kay a little bit slow off the corner. Are we not going to get side by side through the S section? Alan Kay will hold the defensive line and hold the position, and is in 12th position. And I'm not sure what has happened with Speedy Suarez. He's had a bit of a moment, and Recon down the inside taking full advantage. So I'm not sure what has went on there, as Vaporon, this is the back end just coming out of turn 11. Recon and Speedy Suarez now about to do battle. Halfway down the straight they come, with side by side pretty much going to be between these two. Recon has got the DRS, Suarez trying to keep up with him, not quite, and Recon takes advantage of what I thought was a Suarez mistake, and Recon is up to 4th, with Jeffrey and Maximus now going out, and Maximus all the way around the outside of Jeffrey. That was a hard move to pull off, but that is a very good move indeed. Maximus is up into 9th position, with Jeffrey in 10th as well. We'll focus on this as Jeffrey is still on the back. And again, as I alluded to on the formation lap, and I've alluded to in qualifying as well, the cloud temperature and the cloud cover just providing a little bit of relief really for these guys in the medium and the hard compound of tyres. You see Kiki has rejoined as well further down the field. As we approach 1/4 distance, lap 7 out of 28 will be next time around. Lap 6 currently, and Sinclair leads the way from Lambo in second. Took full advantage of the move down the straight into turn 12, and Sinclair has really, that gap has stabilised, to be honest, between the top two. Vapor in third. There's a yellow flag in sector 1, and it is Jeffrey off at turn 1. Jeffrey has, I think, applied a bit too much power, probably on the outside curb there. He will be joined in a safe manner. Kiki avoids anyways, and he's now down to last, and he's got a long way to go if he wants to get that front wing repaired. Sinclair, though, leading the way. Vapor in second. Vapor right on the back of Lambo for second. Here we go down the straight. The two Renaults doing battle in behind as well, just in the back of camera shot there. Lambo on the back of Sinclair now, diving it down the inside. Lambo gets the move done. Has he gone in a little bit too deep? Oh no, perfection move from Lambo. Gets the move done. Siege and Maze as well down the straight. Siege has got the move done on Maze. He's up into P6. Maze will try and fight this. Conti's coming into this as well in P8, out on track. Back on board with the battle for the lead though. We'll focus on this. Sinclair taking a much deeper line to Lambo. That is going to really affect Lambo's perspective through there. Is he going to come into the pits, I wonder? No, he's not. We're going to continue on lap 6 out of 28. Four-way battle for the lead once again unfolding here. I think the last time I had a battle in TTFL, it was pretty much similar to this. Lambo leads, Sinclair second, Vapor in third, Recon in fourth. Suarez has dropped off now as a result of, he must have made another mistake out on track, because he has really dropped off on the top four. Siege is luckily 4 seconds behind him. Recon is trying to get Vapor down the inside into turn 3. Through the S section they fly through. Recon not close enough for the move. We'll go on board actually with Recon behind Vapor currently in that third position. As I say, we'll focus again on some of the action further down the field, but this top 4 battle really hotting up. Lap 7 out of 28, we're halfway through actually lap 7. Lambo is still out in front, Sinclair second, Vapor third, Recon in fourth, but running down the straight, Vapor a lot closer to Sinclair this time. Let's run on board then with Vapor as Sinclair tries to close in on Lambo. Vapor closing in on Sinclair. Oh, and Lambo actually just moving across on the defensive line there. That just looked a little bit dodgy to me. Sinclair holds the position for second. That might just need a bit of a look into for the end of it, for the stewards at the end of this race. Vapor is trying to launch it down the inside of Sinclair now, on board with Recon. Vapor sticks it up the inside of turn 15, not quite. Sinclair always on the inside line and always going to have to run through the corner, but the traction on the outside of the corner, I tell you what, Vapor could try and pull this off. Down the inside into turn 19, it's fantastic from Vapor. Made it look very simple indeed, and no surprise, Sinclair wants to get out of this and he's into the pits. So Sinclair into the pits, the first one into the pits here in the race. Jeffrey, of course, has already pitted as a result of his front wing damage. But Vapor down the inside of Sinclair, getting the move done, and Recon, Jesus, right on the back of Vapor, nearly a bit of contact further down. The field we go now as Conti right on the back of Maze, not going to launch it down the inside. But the Renault holding on from the racing point, currently 4th, 6th position. We'll come on board with battle for lead in a minute. Of course, I do want to focus on mid-pack battling as well. And it's just trying to preserve those tyres a little bit. They'll set a soft compound of tyres. Conti right on the back of him on the same set. Maximus on a set of hards is starting to get into this, and could be a little bit of a cheeky one as it's all kicking off once again back down in front. Lambo and Vapor. I think Vapor tried to actually launch it down the inside of Lambo. I'm not sure what might have happened there. Running down the straight, Lambo still leads. Recon down the inside on Vapor gets him. So Recon into second. Currently as it stands, Sinclair in 9th. Recon will not be taking the championship at this stage. He will not be winning the championship at this stage. Conti launching it down the inside of Maze though in the meantime. Typical how I miss a move with Vapor and Recon. There's so much going on. I want to try and focus on a lot of action here out on track. Vapor has gone through on Recon. Maximus is on the back of Conti. Dives it down the inside. Can the Brit do it down the inside? Not quite. He has got the traction around the outside of the corner, but always on the inside line. It's going to favour through that corner, and Maximus back through. Is he going to try and get back through on Conti? Oh, around the outside of turn 19. Oh, fantastic stuff by Maximus. Around the outside of turn 19. You do not see an overtake there at the best of times. Maximus and Conti, hats off to you both. Brilliant side-by-side action. Sorry about the camera angle, but that was great. Maximus around the outside of Conti, gets the job done, and is up to P5. Clearly got fresher tyres than Conti and made it look pretty easy. Sinclair now in the net lead of this race. Lambo's came out a second behind him. Perfect strategy, I think, for Lambo now. He can possibly get to the end of the race on those compound of tyres as well. Alan Kay is into the pits onto a set of soft compound of tyres. He goes. He wants to try and get the scrap points, I think, in this race. We have got a little bit of a breather now in this race. We'll go and focus on the battle for the lead for now, but I'm going to have a check of the comment section, see how you guys are getting on in the comments, and hope you guys are really enjoying this race. A lot has happened on this in the first 10 laps or so. Vaporon is under attack now from Recon for the battle for the lead. Currently out on track, of course, Sinclair and Lambo already into the pits. Let's have a focus. No comments coming through in the comment section. Of course, if you do want to get in touch, go ahead. Go ahead and get in touch. Sinclair has gone past on Lambo. Conti Boy, I think, letting them both through. Doesn't want to get embroiled in a net battle for the lead. Think fair play to him with that, to be honest. He will be into the pits this lap. 0.5 of a second separating the top two out on track. Vaporon leads with Recon in second. 18 laps to go. Well, lap 10 out of 28, and these two fight it out for the lead of the race. Speedy Suarez in third. Should have really came into the pits a couple of laps earlier. Sinclair, however, is on the back of Maximus, and this, I think, is going to be job done down the inside. The Scotsman down the inside of the Brit, and Sinclair gets the move done, and now puts a car's width between himself, or puts a car, in fact, in between himself and Lambo. So this is going to be pretty intriguing indeed. Is Lambo going to be held up by a little bit of traffic here, I wonder? Maximus on a set of hards will not be too far off the pace, but it's all going to heat up. And already you can see Sinclair with that fresher air and no dirty air at all. Lambo, I think, is just going to launch this down the inside into turn 11. He has got the car length to do it, and Lambo makes it look quite easy. Just a little bit of contact. I think it was going to be job done anyways. Lambo has got the move done. He's up to 6, opens up that DRS, and is now free of potential traffic. But now Maximus has got DRS as well, beginning to try and close in on him. Not going to send it down the inside though. The Brit on his fellow countryman, and Lambo is now only 0.6 behind Sinclair. It's all starting to shape up into a potential thriller here in TTFL. Vaporon and Recon currently lead the way, 0.6 of a second between these two. Siege is on the back of Speedy Suarez, whose tyres have now fallen off the cliff completely. He will be into the pit soon. How on earth is he not into the pits that lap? I do not get. He is ruining his own strategy, I think, with this, to be honest. But he's out there in third. Sinclair and Lambo, though, is the battle they're going to focus on. And that in behind is Maximus again. Round the back, Lambo getting close down the inside. Not quite. There is a yellow flag in Sector 2. It's not one of the leaders, it's Jeffrey. Jeffrey has left the session, has pretty much in the business, as we call it, rage quit there with a spin out of turn 11. But we do, of course, thank him. Unless it is a disconnect that has happened, he can get, of course, back into this race. Kiki did. Hopefully Jeffrey can come back in. You never know, he can pick up scrap points. Might not seem like it currently, but I've seen it done before. Trust me, there's a lot can happen between now and the end of the race. I know too much of that to know. Recon 0.3 off Vaporon at the minute. Focus back on with Lambo and Sinclair as they run halfway down the straight. Conti and George going to get going for battle as well. We'll focus on that as Lambo tries to size up a move down the inside into turn 12. Not quite going to happen through there. Sinclair holds on to that 4th position. As I say, Conti and George now going to do battle. Getting further back down the field. 10th place this is for currently. Conti just missing a bit of a gear there actually. For now opens up the taps and will try and close in on George down into the straight. George taking the defensive line already. Conti on a much fresher set of medium compound tyres is going to waltz it around the outside, and George not putting up a fight there at all. Conti has got the move done and he's up into that P10 position. Suarez into the pit. Sinclair and Lambo both pick up the DRS, running down the straight for 3rd and 4th at this stage. And again, Vaporon and Recon still going at their own pace out on track. and they're going to be going one stop and potentially on a set of softs towards the end of the race. By my calculations though, they can only last 5 or 6 laps around here, and then they really start to go off the cliff, the soft compound of tyres. So it will be intriguing to see how this is going to pan out. 0.7 of a second though between Vaporon and Recon as they run down the straight. I'll try and focus on the closest battle, of course, out on track, currently between these two, but we'll focus on Siege though in the meantime on Kiki, who was on the back here. 0.4 of a second, clearly going to be a lot quicker and with a fresh set of soft compound of tyres for Siege. Right on the back of Kiki, as I say. Kiki's still yet to come into the pits. Let's have a look at who has pitted and who hasn't. Vaporon, Recon, Maximus, Kiki and George still all to come into the pits. And you can already see where this is going. Siege has got the move done on Kiki and Breeze has passed. Pretty much like Usain Bolt in the 100 metres there. Siege has got the move done and he's up into that 6th position. Fine move indeed down the straight. Easy as you like. So Siege now can hunt down on Maximus for that 5th position, and Maximus is just going through the triple right-hander. That, I do believe, is Jeffrey's AI coming through that section. It is. We're nearly at halfway in TTFL. Season 6, round 10 here in America. I have been James Head, your commentator so far, and I'm loving it out on track. Been a lot of great action, trying to provide you with the closest action and the cleanest action, of course, out on track. And Vaporon still leads the way by 0.5 of a second. Recon is in 2nd with Sinclair in 3rd, Lambo in 4th, Maximus in 5th. Siege got the move done on Kiki, he's now up to 6th. Kiki just going through Jeffrey's AI there in 7th, Suarez in 8th, Mays in 9th, Conti in 10th, Esgrem now in 11th because George is into the pits for a set of, I would imagine this will be for a set of mediums again. It's a set of hards for George, right wall tyre out there in the pits, and he is going to be, of course, coming out ahead of Jeffrey, who is pretty much now a lap down. Alan Kay is ahead as well. George in 13th, could still pick up a good result here. He is going to the end of the race on this compound of tyre. Lambo right on the back of Sinclair, those will be flick up back on board with the action up front. And judging when Vaporon and Recon actually come into the pits, these two will be in the net lead of the race, but both of them have got the same strategy in behind. Then it remains to be seen who's going to come out on top. Both on to lap 14. We're halfway through now in TTFL. Vaporon, Recon, they've been at it for the last couple of laps, always stabilising the gap at around 0.5, and it's still the same as they come through turn 1 once again on lap 14. Sinclair in 3rd with Lambo in 4th. Just dropped off slightly on Sinclair. Sinclair with a lap warmer tyres, of course, than Lambo, but Lambo with a lap fresher tyres. Use the word fresh again in that. Siege has set the new fastest lap of the race. Of course, there is a fastest lap point available for the drivers here tonight. A 1:35.4 for Siege. And he is hunting down Maximus. That gap has already decreased from 9 seconds when I last looked to 5 seconds pretty much now. Siege got the hammer down. Conti and Mays, though, beginning to get going further down the field. 9th and 10th. These are for what I like to call the scrap points out on track, but it's points nonetheless. And Mays and Conti beginning possibly to do battle. And you can see the real verve and the real style that Conti actually attacks the S section through there. Lambo and Sinclair, though, are getting going. This is down into the chicane. Lambo's got the move done on Sinclair. That was down into turn 12. I do apologise. Lambo's got the move done on Sinclair. Picked his opportunity and got it nicely. He's up to 3rd, but he is in the net lead of the race actually, with Vaporon and Recon still yet to come into the pit. I have a feeling they'll come into the pit shortly. We'll go on board then. We'll go back on board with Conti on the back of Mays. Coming down the straight. And Conti, and that is a terrible camera angle. We'll go back on board with him. Mays now on the outside line. Conti on the inside line. The space is given. Conti not going for the move though. Conti not going for the move. That's a bit of a strange one. He was alongside. I'm not sure if there was any contact possibly between them both. If there was, then Conti has given back up the position to Mays, and that is good sportsmanship shown if that is the case. Lap 15 out of 28 has just started. We'll go back on board though with the battle for the current lead of the race. It is V1 and Recon. And the Brits doing a good job out in front by still 5.5 tenths as they come through into turn 11 once again. Recon is in second, trying to chase him down this long kilometre straight. Moves have been done from this far back before. However, I think Recon may be, as Vepron just tried to break the toe actually just ahead of him. Recon not close enough for the move down the straight. Lambo and Sinclair running down the straight 8 tenths away. Not going to be getting that move done. And again, Conti right through the first sector on the back of Mays. 3 tenths off him as he comes through the first sector. 5 tenths down his personal best lap. They get Jeffrey's AI car out the way. And Conti right on the back of Mays here. George is up a position as Alan Kay has pitted further down the field. Alan Kay is at the pits and he's around 3 seconds behind George on exit. Conti right on the back of Mays though still. 0.6 of a second separating these two as they come down the straight, with the Ferris wheel way off in the distance there. Conti pulls out the slipstream and again not going to go for the move there. Lambo has just picked up a 3-second time penalty for track limits. That was coming out of turn 19 on the outside of the corner, I think, I would imagine. So we have got 12 laps to go. Vaporon leads, Recon second, still yet to come into the pits. The one stop could work. They're going to be out in front by quite a way to Maximus. However, battles now starting to happen further down the field. Suarez still on the back. Suarez now on the back of Kiki. Sinclair's now picked up a 3-second time penalty, and the Spaniard is down the inside of Kiki. And Speedy Suarez is up to 7th position. Kiki down to 8th. Mays and Conti doing battle, running up the hill into turn 1. Conti with the straight line speed. Is he going to get it done this time? Surely it's down the inside for Conti. And there is the racing point. Down the inside he goes. Conti is up to a formidable 9th position and gets ahead of Mays. Vaporon and Recon, when are they going to come into the pits? 12 laps to go. They don't want to be pitting in too late for the set of soft compound of tyres. Let's have a look at the gap between Vaporon and Maximus, because that's going to be the intriguing part of all of this. Maximus still yet to come into the pits. It's around 29 seconds to Siege. More than enough time for a pit stop, I think. And are we going to see them both into the... Yes, Vaporon into the pits. Recon into the pits. Very late decision for them both to come in. Vaporon leading Recon into the pits pretty much there. I knew it was coming. They're into the pits, and I imagine that's a set of stops going on for Vaporon, and there'll be a set of stops going on for Recon as well. They can make the end of the race. Now Lambo and Sinclair lead the way as they come down the straight once again. Vaporon and Recon going to be well out in front of Maximus and Siege. 2/10 of a second down into turn 1, and the 4-way battle will begin in a few laps time, I would imagine, between Lambo, Sinclair, Vaporon and Recon for potential win of this race. We'll go further down the field though in the meantime. Alan Kay on the back of George for P12 out on track. Alan Kay, the Irishman, the Brit George on the outside line. Alan Kay on the inside line. Both of them going side by side. Good driving between them both, giving each other plenty of respect out on track. Alan Kay around the outside line. Could try and switch back, but George, much later on the brakes there, holds a position. Focus on board with this, as I say, currently 0.6 of a second between Lambo and Sinclair, who's just holding his nerve there out in front, as I say. But, of course, we'll give airtime to the drivers further down the field. With Alan Kay right on the back of George. George running very wide there through turn 19, rejoins track, but Alan Kay, is he going to launch it down the inside? Oh my goodness, I thought there was going to be contact there between them both. They're still side by side running down the straight. They should only go one way, I think, down the straight. Alan Kay on George. There should be move done, I would think, for Alan Kay down the inside. Takes it. George hanging around the outside line, and George is still there and hangs on to the position. Good driving there by George, and holds Alan Kay at bay for now. They come into the final corner once again. Lap 18 out of 28. And typical of me, Alan Kay is through on George. Alan Kay is through on George through the S section there, and has got the move done. I think George actually might have had a bit of an off through the S section. But out in front, look at how the gap is closing in. 3.2 seconds now between Sinclair and Vaporon for second and third. Lambo though leading by 0.4 of a second. Sinclair in second. You must favour though the set of soft compound of tyre runners. Vaporon and Recon beginning to hunt them down, and it's literally like the breakaway being caught by the peloton here. And Kiki into the pitch for a set of soft compound of tyres. He might go for the fastest lap. He will rejoin in the points, which is good to see. They come down the straight once again. Sinclair, don't think he's going to be close enough to Lambo. However, Recon could be close enough to Vaporon running down the straight. He is catching. Slipstream trying to go around the outside line. Vaporon covers the inside line. The Brit on the inside line. Recon trying to go around the outside. A little bit of contact. Recon down the inside. Bit of banging wheels, but job done for Recon. Fantastic move, took his opportunity, gets the move done. Vaporon trying to come back, a little bit of contact there on the back end, nothing too major, and Recon has got the move done, took his opportunity wisely, and has got into third position. But I don't think they deserve to be fighting, to be honest. They could have just kept each other within the same time, really, within the same like 4 or 5 of a second, and then catch the guys ahead, because these two now beginning to battle. Recon knew fastest lap of the race expected, but these two begin to battle behind is going to give the two ahead now an advantage. Lambo and Sinclair will have a distinct advantage off that lap. 1.6 seconds. It could have easily been, if they didn't fight, it could have easily been a second. But I'm just picking out little niggly bits of action that could have happened and didn't. Kiki right on the back of Mays though, 0.7 of a second further down the field. It's almost as if there's two races going on really out on track. Vaporon has picked up a 3-second time penalty. Kiki on the back of Mays, and already is going to get the job done down the inside. Mays is not even going to fight this. Kiki is through and he's up to 9th position. Can now focus his attentions on Conti, who is ahead by 4 seconds the gap, but the top 4 separated by 2 seconds out on track. Lambo leads on lap 19 out of 28. Sinclair is in second, Recon is in third, and Vaporon currently in that 4th position. And pretty much how I was expecting this race to go. These top 4 really getting going out on track. George has ran through turn 19. This could be quite tricky because the leaders are about to come through here as well. George is coming into the pit. He has got left side end plate damage, so we'll replace that. The top 4 are going to come through safely. No car out on track to for them to avoid, but Lambo still leads the way. Look at Recon though on the back of Sinclair. 2.5 to come down towards turn 1, and Recon sends it down the inside late on Sinclair. Picks up a penalty for his misjudgment there, and Recon ran the outside of turn 2. That was late, that was great, but he gets the move done somehow. That is the difference between a set of softs. Lambo's all out of shape and Recon's into the lead. Recon is into the lead, takes full advantage of a Lambo mistake. Unreal driving. That is the difference between a set of soft compound of tyres and a set of medium compound of tyres this late on into the race. As Vaporon is now going to launch it down the inside of Sinclair and gets the move done really cleanly down the inside. Drivers taking the opportunity and paying it off here tonight. Yellow flags in Sector 1 and Sector 2. We'll come on board with that in just a moment. Sinclair's on the back of Vaporon here. Lambo launching it down the inside of Recon as well. They make contact. They lean on into each other. This is really spicing up out on track. Recon holds on for the lead of the race. Is Lambo going to try and have a fight back on Recon down the inside? Not quite. He leaves the room there just in case. Recon though now into the lead of the race. Lambo down to second. Didn't expect that one to come, and I really didn't expect Lambo to be Recon to be leading the lead of this race. Lap 21 out of 28. 8 laps to go, including this one coming up. Recon leads the way. Lambo all out of shape through the final corner. This is going to give Vaporon an opportunity now to get the move done down into turn 1. Is it going to be late stuff from Vaporon down the inside on Lambo? It is. Lambo is aware of the danger. He's going to get the switch back into turn 2. Trying to hold the outside line. Vaporon on the inside line. Just a little bit of contact. More banging wheels than anything else. And Vaporon holds on to the position with Lambo. But now the gloves are off and the popcorn is out. 8 laps to go, well nearly 7.5 laps to go. Recon leads, Vepron in second. The set of soft runners now filling out the top 2 positions, with Lambo in third, Sinclair in 4th position. We'll focus our attentions, however, though, on Kiki, who is chasing down Conti. We came on board, of course, about 2 laps ago. Kiki just got the move done on Maze, and it's now right on the back of Conti for 8th position. And I have a feeling this will be job done down the straight, I would imagine. He'll just slot in. Oh, and Kiki just gets too much curve there, actually. Fight for the battle for the lead. Vaporon is trying to launch it down the inside of Recon. Not quite. We'll go back on board with Conti and Kiki. It is literally gloves off. I always get a good race when I come into commentary for TTFL. This has been fantastic fun. Great driving, great respect out on track, and I'm sure the guys will have a bit of banter after the race as well. And yes, I have just said banter on stream as well. Kiki is on the back of Conti though. We're just about to go into lap 22 for the leaders. Kiki though leading the battle for 8th position now, because Conti has just been overtaken by Kiki down the straight. On the inside on there, Kiki gets the move done. He's up to 8th position. 4 seconds now between himself and Siege. Speaking of Siege, he's on the back of Maximus. So Siege making eye-catching progress through the field. He has been recently into the pits. Beautiful helicopter cam as they come through 16, 17 and 18 through the triple right-hander. Of course, famously where Verstappen overtook Raikkonen illegally in 2017 in America, where he thought he got a podium, but he didn't. Siege right on the back of Maximus. So this is for 6th position as we run down the straight. We'll come on board with the broadcast cam very shortly indeed. No, we'll maintain the helicopter cam right until turn 1. And Siege gets the move done down the inside. The Renault down the inside of Maximus and the Mercedes, and gets the job done. He's up to 6th position. Everyone there spreading themselves out quite evenly. Recon and Vaporon now leading the way. That is Jeffrey's AI getting into play there. Conti's picked up a 3-second time penalty. This actually gives us a good opportunity. We'll focus on Bob with the top 2 in behind the camera shot, but we're going to focus on the penalties. Recon has got 2 penalties and a couple of warnings. Vaporon has got 1 penalty, so this favours him more. Lambo has got 2 penalties. Sinclair has got 2 penalties, so this is going to favour Vaporon out of anyone, really, this top 4 battle. Suarez has picked up a penalty, that was early on in the race. Siege has picked up 2 warnings. Maximus has picked up a penalty. Kiki has picked up nothing, which doesn't add up because, of course, he did disconnect in the race, so that is probably taken from that. We'll get him to send in his penalties if he's got any afterwards. Conti has got 2 penalties. Mays has got nothing, good to see. S. Graham has got 2 warnings. And Alan Kay has got 3 penalties, and George, still going around out on track, has got 2 penalties as well. So plenty of penalties being picked up out on track. Lambo has just picked up another 3-second time penalty actually there. So that puts him now on 3 penalties, and that could be seeing him out of the podium positions. Penalties could be coming back to bite him here with 5.5 laps to go here in America. Battle for the lead now hotting up. Look at Vaporon right on the back of Recon. Recon, of course, outscoring Sinclair at this stage. Remember, he won't get the championship win here. Vaporon down the inside line, gets the move done into turn 12, and has got the job done. Recon trying to go for the switchback. I tell you what, he could pull it off, you know. Recon ran on the outside line, Vaporon on the inside line. I think that might be a lap car ahead. That is Alan Kay, I do believe. I swear I saw Ferrari. Recon on the inside line, pushes off Vaporon, hanging off the camera in the corner. Recon down the inside at 16, 17 and 18. You don't really see a move pulled off there, but this is just the level of driving that these two provide. Recon is back into the lead of the rest. Vaporon in second, and that is Alan Kay just ahead by around a couple of seconds out on track. Vaporon now pulls out on the slipstream, down the inside once again on Recon, gets the job done. These two are going to be toing and froing. Recon now trying to repay him back around the outside into turn 2. He's got to give Vaporon the benefit of the doubt here, coming through the S section. They're surely not going to go side by side, and they're not, through the S section. And with 5 laps to go, this is really hotting up to be season penultimate race of the season thriller here in America, with Vaporon leading, Recon in second, Lambo third, Sinclair in fourth. All the action is up front. 2 seconds roughly separating the top 4. Suarez in 5th, best of the rest at the minute. Siege in 6th, Maximus in 7th, Kiki in 8th, Conti in 9th, and Mays in 10th position. So that's soft runners. Siege and Kiki will begin to struggle further down the field now. The sun has came out all of a sudden, and the sun is coming out on Recon. Down the inside of Vaporon once again. The yo-yo effect is back at it, and Recon has got the move done, and surely is going to defend the position through this little stadium section here, through 13, 14 and 15. Recon hanging on out in front. 3.5 tenths got the move done. They are approaching Alan Kay, who is probably going to get out of the way. He is a very good sportsmanship driver, Alan Kay, of course, and I don't think he will want to get involved in this lead battle. He is where I thought he's got a little bit of damage there on the left side end plate, actually. Might just have to pick up on that. George still going in there in 13th as well. But Recon leading the way, 6/10 of a second. They're spread out now pretty evenly, running onto the final 4 laps of this race. Alan Kay right at the outside line. Even if the ghosting system wasn't on, I think the ghosting system obviously on. This has been a recently added feature into Formula 1. You can have the ghosting either turn on or off for lapped cars within the racing. I personally prefer to have it off, but of course the drivers do have that added sense. You never know, the ghosting system might fail, and then it'll be Codemasters all to blame, as Lambo is all out of shape coming out of turns 8 and 9. Sinclair is down the inside, and now adds a bit more into the championship picture. Sinclair gets the move done on Lambo, just rolled a little bit too much of the curb there, I think, at Lambo, but he's on the back end of Sinclair once again. Vaporon is right on the back of Recon. Take your pick, we'll go back on board with the guys in behind. Lambo is down the inside of Sinclair, gets the move done, and Recon and Vaporon are side by side. 3.5 laps to go. It is literally hammers out. Vaporon on the inside line. I tell you what, he is driving such a good race, Vaporon, and leads the way. But look at Recon down the inside line, shooting not again down the inside line at 16, 17 and 18, hanging off the camber of the corner. Oh, and the touch. Vaporon just coming across line. He thought he had the move done. He thought he had it covered. A little bit of contact there I thought was unavoidable. Given the nature of the corner, that is probably a bit unavoidable, to be honest. Recon and Vaporon though fight onto the final 3 laps out on track here in America, and Vaporon hanging by the skin of his teeth out in front. Right on the line in second. These two now beginning to really throw each other under a bus, with Lambo and Sinclair 3rd and 4th position in behind as well. And I tell you what, this has been one hell of a race to commentate on. If you guys in viewing this stream really got the sense of me in the commentary box, you would hear the excitement I am currently experiencing out on track as they come down the straight. Recon very close to the back end again, and Vaporon running down the straight. 2.5 laps between the line, and Vaporon and Recon are about to do battle for must have been a 12th round now. Recon down the inside again and gets the move done. Goes a little bit too deep, and now Vaporon senses that. Run the outside line into turn 12. Into turn 13 this is actually, and Vaporon holds the outside line. Recon switches onto the inside line. Vaporon now on the inside line, coming through the little stadium section, and Vaporon pulls it off again. This is unreal racing between them both, but do not discount Lambo at Sinclair at your own peril. 3rd and 4th. On to the final 2 laps we go for a penultimate round of the race. This could not be a penultimate round of the season. This could not be any closer. The championship will go to the final race as it stands. Recon now to the outside line. Vaporon defending the inside line down into turn 1. Goes a little bit too deep. Recon senses that. Round the outside. Comes across a little bit of banging wheels and contact. Recon, I think, is going to hold the inside, and he does. Round the outside through turns 1 and 2. Recon picked up. This is unreal. Recon gets the move done. He's up in the P1 once again. Vaporon, Lambo, Sinclair. Have you ever seen it so close in TTFL? 1.2 seconds separating the top 4 out on track. This was always going to be a thriller. Siege and Kiki now beginning to drop off slightly. Ooh, bit of lag there from Recon. Just jumped ahead and jumps back behind now by a couple of tenths. Vaporon and Lambo right on the chase, hunting them down. We've got broadcast cam. Vaporon now to the outside line, Recon defending the inside line. Hell for leather, these two have been going up for the last few laps. Lambo is just going to sense something here, and he's sensing he's got the measure of them both. I wouldn't be surprised because the mediums and the softs will probably be running at the same compound, at the same tyre wear percentage at the minute. Vaporon hanging on, Recon's on the inside line. Lambo doesn't want to put himself in a position where he can't get out of, nearly boxed in, running down the straight. But he's hanging on in there, and Sinclair's picked up another 3-second time penalty. Writing on the wall possibly for the Scotsman. A little bit of contact, onto the final lap we go. Pretty much the whole top four separated by a second. Take your pick, who's going to win? Vaporon leads the way. Lambo's down the inside of Recon. Recon covers it off. Tries to nearly go on the back end of Vaporon there. Just a little bit late on the brakes. Recon hanging on in second. Lambo in third, Sinclair in fourth. Once again, Lambo was wanting this. He has been so aggressive in behind, and the Ferrari man is on absolute tenterhooks to try and get this move done. He senses Vaporon is getting away. Recon now beginning to hold him up slightly, and Vaporon surely is in pole position to take this win. Even without the penalties, he should be taking this. Recon now into turn 11 for the final time. Lambo takes the inside line. Sinclair could be sizing this up as well. Could be 3 wide down the straight for the battle for the lead. We're going forward Sinclair. Lambo is chasing Recon down the straight. 1.5 tenths towards the end of the straight here. Don't think it's going to be close enough for a move. Lambo is down the inside of Recon. Recon locks up slightly, but the Hats hold around the outside. They come across each other. Recon hanging off the camera of the corner. That 3-second time penalty needs removing. And now Sinclair is in on things as well. And Lambo, Recon, really beginning to fight out on track, but Vaporon getting away by a second out on track. Recon is in second. Lambo trying to go around the outside on Recon, I should say. Now around the outside into turn 19. He's just doing enough, I think. Vaporon found the final corner. It's still held for leather in behind. Lambo forcing up the inside of Recon. Vaporon will take it though out on track, and there's been a lot of contact in behind. Goodness knows, stewards are going to be busy with the end of that race. Recon takes second, Sinclair is in third, Lambo is in fourth. I would not be surprised though if there were extra penalties given for the amount of aggressive driving on that final lap. And I am not going to have a go at the final lap at all, but there was aggressive driving there, and that does need to be sorted out. That is all I'm saying on that. Suarez across the line in fifth, picks up a good result. Siege in sixth. Maximus coming across the line in seventh, so they've held their positions very nicely indeed at the end of this race. Kiki ran the final corner in 8th position. Will be very happy with that result. Conti ran the final corner in 9th position as well. There is a yellow flag in sector 3. George has ran, that is through turn 15, that is. Mays is coming up towards the final couple of corners. Here the final corner he comes, and Mays takes it for 10th position. S. Graham in 11th. Have a feeling though, Recon and Lambo will maybe be getting themselves extra penalties added on. That's what I am of the opinion of. Certainly, and don't come and have a go at me afterwards, because I'm not in the mood. George through the final corner in 13th position. We've had everyone finish apart from Jeffrey's AI on S. Graham. Loses the back end through turn 19. The Red Bull is going to come home though in 11th position. Drama in America. Penultimate round of the season. And it is Vaporon who takes it. I think probably deserved it. Vaporon deserved it. He is my driver of the day for me. Drove fantastically well. Clean, crisp, competitive, not over-aggressive. That is the sort of driver you want in a front four battle. Vaporon takes my driver of the day, and he takes the win here in America's Los Toriados. Now goes off in the background. Oh, we need a breather after that. Vaporon takes it. Sinclair and Recon pick up the other podium position, second and third respectively. But, of course, I have a feeling there might be extra penalties on the way for a few drivers out on track. And I get XP. What on earth am I getting XP for? I've only commentated. Goodness me. Anyways, Vaporon takes it from 4th in the grid, takes it and takes my driver of the day as well. Recon has finished in 2nd. Just a little bit of over-aggressive driving in the end, maybe between him and Lambo. Sinclair takes 3rd position. What would have been if it all kept clean through the final couple of corners? Lambo in 4th, Suarez in 5th, Siege in 6th with Maximus in 7th, Kiki in 8th from 14th, good job from him. Conti in 9th, Maze takes the final point in 10th, S. Graham, Alan Kay, George all finishing, Jeffrey out the race pretty much after he disconnected from that. But that is all we have got time for here at the Circuit of the Americas. We will dissect the race a little bit down. Of course, do tune in to TTTV next week. We will be back on Monday. You'll be seeing a lot more me next week as well, especially on Monday and Tuesday. I will be around for TT_Project Cars. We are at Zhuhai for that. I'm looking forward to it. Touring cars around Zhuhai. Cannot wait. And then TTL F2 on Tuesday. And of course, Wednesday, you will have Andy Campbell on stream for the mental health race night as well. The charity link is there out on TTG Gaming. I'm sure it will be shared in all the chats over the coming days as well. So do give what you can, because it is a great cause that we are racing for. 15 5-lap races. It is literally a sprint championship dream going on for the mental health race night. And of course it is for a great cause. And I'm sure we will all get talking. I know there's going to be a quiz on Wednesday. Andy will take you through that, and that is from 7:30 on Wednesday. TTL F1 also next week with Andy and Kieran, who should be back next week. I certainly won't be here on Thursday and Friday. TTFL with Malk next week as well. Season finale, I cannot wait to watch that when I get back. And then Saturday, and then we all start again week after. But in the meantime, if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at B52head. You can come and watch me on League of Europe tomorrow night as well from 6:45. But for me, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, hope there is a next time for TTFL. Goodbye.